Ambassador Mekouar, thank you so much for being with Global Atlanta today. We really appreciate you being here in Atlanta.
Thank you very much. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be with you.
What brings you here today to Atlanta?
There is a Moroccan Day at Georgia State University, and I was invited to come and speak about Morocco. And so it's a pleasure to be back in Atlanta. I come very often, and it has been some years, now 2 years, I think I didn't come back.
How long have you been in your post as ambassador?
Almost 8 years.
8 years?
Yes, almost.
Wow.
I arrived in June 2002.
That seems very long for an ambassador post.
Yes,
you
absolutely.
must be doing a good job.
I don't know.
Tell us a little bit about your country and some of the economic sectors that are strong there, and how the relationship with the U.S. is going on.
Very well. Well, two things. My country is, let me give you an idea of the location for people who don't know where it is. It's on the northwest of Africa. It's on the northwest of Africa. It's 8 miles from Europe, from Spain. It's around 6.5 hours from New York, and just across the Atlantic. So we are very close. We are very close, and there is only the Atlantic between us. Morocco is a traditional, it's an African, Muslim, Arab, Berber country with great connections with Europe, and of course with historic connections with the United States. Morocco was the first country to recognize the United States in 1777. It's the oldest treaty that the United States have with foreign countries with Morocco. It goes back to 1786. And the oldest building owned by the American government outside of the United States is in Morocco, in Tangiers. So that's just to put things where they are. With the United States, we have a free trade agreement. So relations started a long time ago, more than 230 years ago.
When was that free trade agreement?
The free trade agreement was signed in 2004 and entered in force in 2006. So the idea is to develop relations, trade relations between Morocco and the United States, and we are seeing some results. I think the trade between the two countries grew by 140% since it entered in force.
That's interesting. You've been ambassador 4 years before and 4 years after.
Exactly,
now, so.
Exactly. We started negotiations in 2003. And we concluded the negotiations in 2004, but it entered in force in 2006. So,
what are some of your biggest trading partners? Is the U.S. one?
Excuse me?
Your biggest trading partners? I know that you have a good relationship with Europe.
The biggest trade, it's Europe. It's the European Union. I think it's still 63 to 65, yeah, 63% of our foreign trade is with Europe. And we have very close relations with Europe, and you know, we are very close, and it's as if we were in Europe.
All right, and you've made it your business to kind of open your economy, from what I've read, and
yes.
The free trade agreement is part of that, I guess. But how has that progressed?
Morocco decided to. The government of Morocco decided a long time ago, some 20 years ago, that there was no way of having a strong economy if we didn't open to the international trade. And this is why Morocco joined the GATT first, and the World Trade Organization was born in Morocco. And we started signing free trade agreements with several countries. And we have a free trade agreement today with the United States, with Europe, with Turkey, with 4 Arab countries. And we have special agreements with many African countries. So globally, we have free trade agreements with 1 billion people.
I'm sure you're here, and part of your job is to promote your country and kind of let people know about what it's all about. I'm wondering what do you think is the perception of Morocco in the United States, and how are you trying to address that?
Well, you better ask Americans about that. But look, first of all, we have the movie Casablanca, which is an excellent movie. Everybody has seen Casablanca, and everybody knows what Casablanca. So Casablanca is one of the biggest cities in Morocco, and that already gives an idea about what Morocco is. Second, I think that Morocco stands. People don't know exactly where it is. So there is a kind of a myth in the minds of people, you know, kind of Moorish, African, kind of European country. So there is that about it. But more and more you have Americans going to Morocco, and you can read a lot of articles about Morocco, Moroccan decoration. We have a lot of tourists coming. There is in the newspapers, in the American newspapers, there is not a week or a month where you don't have an article on Morocco, on the Moroccan decoration, on the Moroccan cuisine, on Moroccan destination as a tourist country.
Mm-hmm. You spoke about tourism. I'm wondering how that was impacted in the economic downturn, and that's one of your main sectors, if I'm.
Yes, it is. Tourism developed quite quickly in Morocco. I think in 2000 we had 2.5 million tourists. Today we have 8 million tourists.
How does that compare to your population?
The population is 32 million.
Okay.
32 million. The tourism, I mean, actually, we haven't seen a drop in the number of people coming into. Actually, we have seen an increase, a growth in the number of people coming to Morocco. One of the explanations, we don't know exactly why, but I think one of the explanations is that Morocco is 2.5 hours from every capital in Europe. So people, instead of going far away because it costs much more, come to Morocco. Basically, Morocco is becoming the Florida of Northern Europe because the weather is very good weather. It's California weather. And people who are living in London or in Paris or in Frankfurt take a plane and come to Morocco, spend the weekend. And so we haven't suffered much with the downturn.
And related to tourism, we have, as we saw in America, and all our allies are dealing with the threat of terrorism. You came to the U.S. 1 year after 9/11. I'm wondering how your government is dealing with that threat and cooperating with the U.S.
Well, we have been working with the U.S. for a long time, even before 9/11, to fight terrorism. And every country is a target, and every country, and it's very dangerous, and we have to absolutely defeat terrorism. In Morocco, we've had a terrorist attack in 2003, and that was the biggest one, and another one in 2007 maybe, but that was a small one. Just 2 people blew themselves up. They harmed nobody. But we are very careful, very vigilant, and we look at them. But the country is very safe and it's very secure, and this is why we are seeing a lot of investments coming in.
Last question. What would you say to a Georgia company that was looking at Morocco as a possible investment destination? What kind of sectors would you tell them to look for?
There are several sectors. We made the study, and there is what we call the emergence plan. And the sectors are tourism, textile, but high tech. I mean, fashion and not the big quantities, but just on time. Textile, we have, of course, aerospace industry. We have Boeing and the ADS invested there. Automobile industry, which is very important. Tourism, I said it. Agro-industry, because Morocco has California weather, so we produce a lot of citrus and vegetables and that kind of stuff. And fisheries and construction. So those are, and of course, high tech. I think the main exports from Morocco to the United States are motherboards. So that's, and offshoring. We have several companies, American companies and other companies who have their call centers in Morocco, French-speaking and Spanish-speaking call centers, but also back office.